Tune in to Overcomers TV on your favorite app or streaming platform. It's time to overcome.
Thanks for watching this episode of Answering the Call. I'm Pastor Chuck Reese, your show host and executive producer. This is a series all about evangelism and discipleship, and we're highlighting ministries that are working all around the world that are serious about doing just that. Our next story comes from Peridot, Haiti, visiting Haitian Christian Outreach. With me, the executive director, Megan Schreiber. Megan, thank you so much for spending some time and allowing us to come visit you guys here in Haiti.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you guys making your way all the way out here.
Yeah, we flew in together with Mission Aviation Fellowship,
Yep.
Pretty small little plane, and
Yes.
we got to see the island from a pretty cool view. There's a lot of mountains around us.
Yes.
There's a lot of need.
Oh,
and you
yeah.
guys have a medical clinic. How would you describe the Heartbeat? What's God doing at this base?
So, oh goodness, God is moving. One of the biggest things that I've seen in the last year in regards to God's power through this ministry is that even though COVID tried to keep us out of the country and separate from our brothers and sisters here in Haiti, the hospital was still bustling. 420 babies born in
Wow.
2020, over 10,000 consults completed, over 500 surgeries completed. You know, those things were still working, and that's part of the ministry, is to do something in Haiti that will last, an eternal lasting.
Right. That's good. That's good. So we talk about evangelism. You know, you're showing the gospel in word and deed, right? So
Yes.
talk about how people are coming to a saving knowledge of Jesus and maybe escaping some of the false religions that are associated with Haiti.
We have an amazing team of Haitian nurses and physicians that pray with patients as they come in. You know, those that either have come from hours and miles away to Peridot, or those that have been sick for a very long time and just don't have the financial ability to pay to go to the doctor. The Peridot Community Hospital received their digital x-ray machine as a gift from the Zanesville Rotary Group back in March of 2019. At the time, we had the only working digital x-ray in the Southeast. So we would have patients come to us that had been to the state hospital, that had been to other larger facilities, and unfortunately, they just didn't have the ability to receive the x-ray that they needed. We don't turn anybody away at the hospital, and that's one of the things that the team prides themselves on, is that every person needs health care, every person needs spiritual care, and so to be able to bring them in through that atmosphere, then to be able to pray with them and talk with them about Jesus and is a huge privilege.
We call the show Answering the Call because we believe there's a lot of Christians that God is raising up to get involved with particular ministries, to be his hands, be his feet. Talk about how people would contact you guys and figure out what their role could be in working with a ministry like yours.
There's definitely an opportunity to serve, even if it's not boots on the ground. Feel free to reach out to us through email and say, hey, what can I do? If you feel that pull to support Haitian Christian Outreach, please do that. It's greatly appreciated.
That's awesome. That's good. Stay tuned. We're going to get some more interviews from some of the folks that are working here in Peridot, Haiti, right out of Jacquelin, so you too can answer the call and get involved with Haitian Christian Outreach. Keep watching.
Tune in to Overcomers TV on your favorite app or streaming platform. It's time to overcome.
This population is very vulnerable, and then is to make sure that this community receive better care, and to also take the gospel as far as we can, that where people can hear about it. This hospital is not only serving this community, but it is serving the whole country, Haiti. There are people who come from the north, people come from the south, people come from all over who would come and receive good care here in this hospital. This place is a Christian hospital. That the first thing we do in the morning when they come is to pray with them. Prayer is the first thing we do here. This hospital was the only hospital working in this community. If this hospital didn't exist, there would have been a lot of dead people in this community. The Peridot Community Hospital is a hospital that is going to go very far because of the kind of care we are providing to people.
Par le biais de l'église.
Now we have a hospital, we have schools, and through this ministry, people are being taught about Christ and give their lives to Christ.
Thanks for continuing to watch this episode of Answering the Call. I'm Pastor Chuck Reese, your show host, visiting with Pastor RoRo Eustache, the founder, CEO for Haitian Christian Outreach. Pastor RoRo, thank you for spending some time to give us the rest of the story of what's happening here in Haiti.
Thank you, Pastor Chuck, for coming here at Peredo and visit with us and see what God is doing through us here.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about the clinic, talk about how the schools, talk about this holistic approach Haitian Christian Outreach has.
Okay, Haitian Christian Outreach, we have a philosophy of ministry goes with four things. It's the church, education, health, and then community development.
Right.
And we believe that someone comes to you and asks for help and you said, I pray with you and go. To us, we can do more. We are raising leaders, young leaders, who will carry the dream and do something for Haiti that will last. That's my prayer, is that's what I want to see happening with Haitian Christian Outreach, for God to continue to do something that will last.
Amen. Well, stay tuned. We're going to get some more interviews from some of the folks here that are working with Haitian Christian Outreach, so you too can answer the call and be an overcomer.
Tune in to Overcomers TV on your favorite app or streaming platform. It's time to overcome.
Hey, it's Pastor Chuck Reese, host of Answering the Call on Overcomers TV. We're visiting with Haitian Christian Outreach here in Port-au-Prince. We're so excited to partner with RoRo. This church that we're visiting here was planted about 35 years ago with Pastor RoRo. We have students that are learning, growing. The next generations of leaders of the Christian church are right here in Haiti, reaching this community with the gospel. So why don't you pray about your involvement and keep watching, and hopefully you too can answer the call.
People come here and with situation that they can't, where they can afford to pay school for their children, and that's why the mission has 6 schools where we are educating children. They go to the classroom. The teacher has the obligation to pray with the students and also have a devotion with the class. We want people to support financially or any way they could so that we can continue the work that we are doing. The philosophy of this ministry is to not to let anyone come here without being served. A majority of people come here cannot pay. They have no money. Whoever is helping, supporting this ministry, is helping the whole country. Our goal is to have more hands, more doctors. We want to specialize our services so that we can give better care to people in the future. I'm not doing a job, I'm answering a call. And I know my greater reward is not from us, but from God.